Hello YouTube, Naked Trevor here, making a video from my Airbnb in Japan. It's my last night in Japan, in Akasaka. It's a beautiful town, honestly, it's just gorgeous here. Unfortunately, my trip was just kind of had a wrench thrown in it by this typhoon. The original plan was to fly in, go to Osaka, stay there for 1 week, and then come back to Tokyo and stay here for 1 week. But, yeah, that didn't work out. I flew in, was exhausted, stayed in Tokyo for a night, and then made my way to Osaka, and then was stranded there because of the Typhoon 10. So, I finally made it back to Tokyo, but I have 2 days left, in Japan before my flight leaves. My flight leaves on Wednesday. Right now, it's a little after 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. So, kind of a bummer drag. Most of my itinerary I wasn't able to do, but it still was a great trip. Since I had 2 days and to have some fun in Tokyo. I tried to do a few things, but to be honest, at this point in my trip, I am just exhausted. After all the traveling and walking and just sightseeing, it's worn me out. And the heat here has just been something else. Me being from Florida, I figured I'd be fine with it, but no. It's been rough. Very rough. So that's something to keep in mind if anyone's coming to Japan. August is, it's a very hot time to be here. So I got back in Tokyo, Akasaka to be precise, and it's just beautiful. Was able to see the Hai Shrine, went to the Imperial Palace. Unfortunately, the Imperial Palace tour, at the time I was there, wasn't operational. They weren't doing it. So when I got there super early, went there at like 9 o'clock in the morning because that was when it was opening, and their morning tour was canceled. So that was cool. And I was going to wait around and take the tour to see the castle, but I just kind of walked the gardens, checked out the grounds. The gardens around the castle were just incredible. And then just kind of wandered through the city today, finding all sorts of interesting things, stores and, different shops. Had some great coffee. Everything here, the Japanese are perfectionists. So something as simple as a latte is just made to perfection. Can't say it any other way. Checked out the Harry Potter area. Didn't actually go on the tour because I had bought tickets, but the tickets were for a day I was stuck in Osaka. So I wasn't able to do that either. So there's quite a bit I missed, but I guess that just means I'm going to have to come back. All right? Something that people don't mention is that it's crowded. Tons of people. Now, I'm sure if I went to a smaller part of Japan, a smaller city or town, it wouldn't be so bad, but my goodness, the crowds have been intense. And after walking all day and dealing with the crowds, I'm not really opposed to crowds, but it kind of wears on you, After a while, you just don't want to do it. But it's just beautiful here. I can't stress that enough. I put a bunch of pictures on my Instagram. The city's just awesome, and visiting the shrines and the Imperial Garden with the backdrop of the all the skyscrapers, it's just a beautiful thing. I highly recommend walking the city and getting lost, finding your way around. It can be a little bit hard, the heat and the sun, and it was kind of sprinkling on and off today, so that was a little rough, getting wet and being hot as hell. But it's worth it because you get to see so much more, and the people here are just awesome. It's just been awesome. Everybody's very friendly. Not knowing the language is rough, though. I gotta admit, when I come back, I'm definitely going to try to learn more of Japanese so I can communicate better, because it's just rough, and no one really speaks English. They may know a few words, but for the most part, no one speaks English here. The Harry Potter Cafe was a highlight. I really enjoyed that. They had some good food there, and cool place, kind of neat to see. And what else? Just kind of bummed that I only had 2 days to really explore Tokyo when I was supposed to have a week. I kept checking the trains to come back. I was trying to find any way to get back here, whether it be night bus or taxi or by even a domestic flight from Osaka to Tokyo. Problem was that the darn typhoon shut everything down, so all transportation was just locked out. You couldn't do anything. So that was a real bummer. But I would recommend, if you're coming here and you really want to see what it's like to live here, stay at an Airbnb. The hosts that I've had have been phenomenal. The apartment that I'm in is just, it's hard to tell, but over here, down that hallway, is where the bathroom and the kitchen is. It's just very nice. That I highly recommend it. And they're very inexpensive. That's the way to go. Comparing it to the hotel rooms that were, oh my goodness, so small. I stayed in a hotel room in Tokyo when I first arrived at one of the Appa hotels. And yeah, it was shoebox size, and I'm pretty sure I heard rats in the ceiling, but I don't know. Maybe it was just the people above me. It's hard to say. But yeah, Airbnb is the way to go. And the various hosts, like the host that I had in Osaka, they were great. I kept having to change my itinerary, or my reservation, and they pulled out all the stops to help me. They actually held a room while I tried to figure things out. And meanwhile, everyone was in the same boat as me, trying to stay more nights or, figure out what they were going to do. So they were very nice. And then this place, because I couldn't get here in time for check-in, she was very flexible. I wasn't able to reduce all of my stay, but most of it, and I got most of my money back. So, and this room that I'm in is about, just about $60 a night. And the first room I was in was $30 a night. So it's very reasonable. And for what you're getting, it's fully furnished. There's a kitchen, very nice bathroom, washer. I did laundry. That's the other thing. If you're coming here, even if you're staying for a long time, I would recommend doing that and bringing as little as possible, because you're going to be lugging your luggage around for quite a bit. And the less you have to carry, the better. There's lots of stairs. Everything here is hills and stairs. They have escalators in some places, but you'll be carrying your luggage quite a bit. The shrines were definitely a highlight. Just seeing the history contrasted with the modern architecture surrounding it. The Japanese love their history, and they have a reverence for preservation and keeping things nice, which I really admire. The people here are just wonderful. Everyone's been so friendly. The food has just been phenomenal. I don't think I've missed anything. Some sushi, some wagyu, some ramen, all the things I like. That pork bowl that I had last night was just amazing. Tried to experience as much as I could, but the problem is that there, the big touristy things that I wanted to see, I didn't make it to Shibuya Crossing, the Shibuya Scramble. It's kind of a bummer drag. And today I was thinking about going to the Team Labs Museum, but again, by the end of the day, after wandering the Imperial Gardens for most of the afternoon and seeing all of the history there, I was just beat, so didn't do that either. But again, like I said earlier, it's just a reason to come back. Tomorrow, I got to get up early, got to get on my flight. I was really hoping I could meet up with the free ride guys who picked me up from the airport, but it's too early. Japanese here, the nightlife is big. If you're one that's into, bar hopping and going to different clubs and stuff, I mean, it's, endless. You could stay out all night. And I guess just for me, I'm not as big as I used to be into that kind of stuff. I don't really like drinking anymore, but I did have a few cocktails, went to a few different places and checked things out. I mean, got to do it while I'm here. But if I'd have came here in my 20s, oh boy. Yeah, I would have had a blast. So yeah, tomorrow flight is at 10:55. I'm going to get there super early because I was trying to do the online check-in, and because my flight is a double flight, I fly to Texas and then I fly to Florida. Just inputting the information, it wouldn't take it. It just wouldn't do it. So I'm just going to do the check-in when I get there. I'll deal with it when I get there. I'll just get there early and figure it out like I've been doing, But at this point, 2 weeks here, it's been great. Typhoon kind of fucked the whole thing, but I'm really not that bummed about it, And I'm looking forward to being home, coming home, kind of getting homesick because, again, not knowing the language. I've talked to some foreigners. In fact, today when I was at the Imperial Palace walking the gardens, I befriended 2 elderly Australian women who were on their, celebrating their retirement, and kind of walked the whole gardens with them. They were very nice. They took some pictures of me. Since I've been by myself, it's been hard to take pictures of me at these places, just taking pictures of the places themselves. But it was nice to actually talk to someone. Every time I've been trying to talk to anybody, they're just looking at me with a blank stare because I'm a silly American who doesn't speak any Japanese at all, Konnichiwa, arigato, gozaimasu, or whatever. I'm terrible at it, It's arigato, So, again, looking forward to being home, but wow, what a trip. I just had some great times, and just wanted to say goodbye, Japan. And if you watched my few videos that I made while I was here, I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.